everybody. This is Sahil Solanki from IIM Ranchi, and today I am with the chairperson of IIM Ranchi IPM program, Professor Virajanand Verma. Hello, sir. Thank you for coming into my channel, and I hope this video will help aspirants.
Thank you for having me, and I will try my best to answer questions the best of my abilities.
Thank you, sir. So we'll start with the first question, sir. IIM Ranchi is not taking sectional cutoff. We are taking it from IPMAT Indore. IPMAT Indore takes from sectional cutoff. Quants are like important for the selection process, and we don't have any sectional cutoff. So what is the point, sir? Like, why are we not taking sectional cutoff? Why are we taking like overall score?
Well, here's the thing. When we look at our MBA student population, we find this whole, it's a fact over all business schools that it's predominantly engineers. And one of the reasons is that because the CAT examination has a bias towards people who are comfortable with numbers. And therefore, engineers find it easy to do it. So the same way, IPMAT, in particular, we also take the SAT scores, but SAT scores are different. IPMAT examination, particularly the math part, is kind of favoring to people who have had math in their high school, right? Particularly people who are with science background, preparing for JEE and stuff like that. So when I talk to my students from your batch or even otherwise, the feeling is that if you are a JEE aspirant, you don't have a problem with the IPMAT. So if we looked at those cutoffs, then there is a chance that most of the people who come into our program would end up being people with a PCM major, right? And we consciously wanted to ensure that we had real diversity in our classes. So one of the ways of doing it is to help people who may not necessarily be great in math, but are good in exam taking because their verbals are good, right? So we just wanted to give everybody that opportunity. So there may be people who are not great at verbals, but great at math, and people who are really good at vice versa. So we wanted to make it possible for both these groups to be able to make it to the program. So that's the primary reason why we didn't want to go through the whole deal of cutoffs. So if you have a good overall grade, whether it is because of the math part or because of the verbal part, in our eyes, you are good to go for the next stage of the program. There is no guarantee about that, but at least to get a call for the interview and overall score should be good enough.
Sure, sir. Like in our first 4 terms, we have business mathematics and we are studying calculus there. So anyhow, you will face mathematics in future. So next question regarding SAT, sir. Why SAT in specific? Like you are choosing the SAT was the only exam first, like you were selecting only through SAT, and then IPMAT came into the picture. And is there any preference, like if do you prefer any student who came through SAT or any student who came through IPMAT? Is there any, or is IIM Ranchi planning any own entrance exam for IPMAT selection in future?
So why SAT? Well, SAT was our primary choice for the same reason we mentioned a while ago, right? SAT is designed for high school students internationally. So the standards of the math part, numerical ability, that is what they call it, or the verbal part, reading comprehension, etc., are set to a standard that does not unnecessarily favor someone with a particular background in high school. So that was our first choice. And luckily or unluckily, last year, because of the pandemic, SAT exams got canceled, or centers kind of shut down because of lack of travel and other challenges. And that is when we said, okay, what do? We have so many people who are interested in applying, but SAT is not happening. So people started writing to us saying, I have registered for SAT, but I cannot take the test. What can I do? So that is when we said, okay, maybe we should include IPMAT as an examination. So this whole idea of not taking a cutoff also probably is borrowed from that SAT decision, right? Because we wanted to be equally fair to both these groups of people who are coming to either of the tests, to make sure that we don't have one group of people who are super good at math and another group that has no idea about math. That would not be good to have in a classroom as far as managing courses are concerned. So we said, okay, we will take the SAT idea. We know IPMAT math is a little more difficult than SAT. So how do we address this challenge? So we went about deciding that we will not have any cutoff. As long as you have whatever the cutoff for the overall score is, you should be good to go for the next stage of the interview. So this year we are looking at both IPMAT and SAT. We don't know about next year. That's the honest response to you. Okay, we don't know. It is possible that if more IPMs happen, other IIMs, at some point there might be a discussion where we have something similar to the CAT just for the IIM IPM admissions. That's a possibility. There is a GIPMAT that is happening for Jammu and Budhaya. If they grow in popularity and other IIMs want to look at them, then it might be a much bigger level of decision than just at the institute level. At this point, we are not looking at developing our own examination. That is for a fact. But what is going to happen in the future is really unclear. So we may go either way. We may keep the same model, just because it is working well for us. We are getting the kind of students we want in our program, at least from the last year's experience. So there is no real reason for us to be worried about the model. It's working for us.